Before we begin today's episode, we wanted to announce that we have officially launched our Patreon, where you can find exclusive content, engage with North Coast, and get access to perks like recordings from live shows, freestyle tips and tricks, and Patreon-only episodes. Whoa, you're getting access. For top-tier patrons, we'll even have pre-order links for live events and virtual freestyle lessons. Sign me up. So visit patreon.com/North Coast Podcast and help your favorite hip-hop improv team thrive. Welcome to the North Coast Podcast, where we interview comedians, creatives, and other interesting people, and then improvise hip-hop improv songs based on their answers. I am Douglas Widick.
I am Mel Rubin.
I am RJ Williams.
I'm Dr. Brick.
And graced with us in the studio today is a good friend of mine, amazing comedian, and just all-around cool fucking person. Millie Tamarez has an upcoming hour at Union Hall, hosts a twice-weekly podcast called Betches Sup, and performs all over the city on the reg. How's it going, Millie? Welcome.
Yay.
Hey. Hey. What's up?
What's up? Good to see you.
Good to see you. I said I had 2 drinks at brunch earlier, so
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm feeling good.
What
That's
were your
awesome.
drinks of choice?
Espresso martini to start.
That's
Yeah,
always
give me
the
energy.
drink of
That's-
choice.
that's
That's my
Mel's.
favorite drink.
Yeah.
It was something that I only appreciated post 30.
Mm-hmm.
After
Me
30,
too.
that's like then I was like, okay, this is how we're living.
Okay.
And then I had a Pilsner, which is also another thing post 30.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because before, I was trying to do the IPA thing, and then it's like, let me be who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me be who I am. Let me not try to pretend.
Yeah.
I'm a Pilsner girl.
That's sick.
Wow.
That's sick.
Pilsner.
Pilsner.
Was
Pilsner.
this, was this like a brunch? Was this a gathering? Was this a solo brunch?
It was impromptu with just a good friend.
Cool.
She was asking last night, and then I was like, not sure. Because I did break a nail yesterday.
Oh.
Sad.
Oh, no.
First of all, Hollywood, that's how you could tell that a lot of movies were made by men. Because it was like, oh, I broke a nail. Like, like they seem like so dainty. Break a fucking nail. Break a fucking nail and talk about the pain. It's a serious pain. Not this one, because these are obviously tips. But yeah, wanted to fix the nail.
When it breaks, how painful is it? The pullback on the quick? Is that the main
Well,
pain?
this one wasn't, because these are tips, right? So my
Yeah.
actual nail actually didn't rip off, but it's like getting your nails ripped off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that is a form of torture. And then I just feel that is a form of torture. That's how they get secrets out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But somehow, like in every movie in the 90s and early 2000s, it's like, oh my God, I broke a nail. And it was like the funniest, like, oh, women are so lame and stupid for talking about a broken nail. And it's like, I'm sure we know, like, nuclear codes.
Yeah.
Because someone broke someone's nail.
Yeah.
Is all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
I wonder, it would be funny if anyone broke a nail in public and they were like, ah, and they just yell out a secret that just like is a natural reaction.
I
just to do.
farted! Literally not a secret everyone heard.
It's like sleep deprivation, waterboarding, and then like ripping off nails. Yeah.
Yeah. I think nails is like before waterboarding, but
okay.
sleep deprivation,
Yeah.
is bad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sleep deprivation.
Oh
I
man.
think
Well, I'm
breaking
sorry.
a nail is probably more painful.
Yeah.
And you're dressed in the beautiful autumn colors as well. I see you got the aesthetic going on.
Yeah.
rocking it.
I was like, how could I dress like TikTok?
Dress
like
TikTok.
Get ready with me, TikTok.
Yeah. I walked outside yesterday. I live in Park Slope, and I literally just opened my door, and I was like, I feel like I'm inside of Instagram right now. Just like
Yeah.
with the leaves, it was like a weird warm day. I was like, this feels unfair to like be living in this like picturesque. I was like, this doesn't happen.
Super picturesque,
Wild.
lots of leaves.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
True fashion
And-
happens in the fall.
That's facts.
True
That's
fashion
facts.
happens in the fall.
And I feel like it was weirdly warm for a November day, but I was still so grateful for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're all gonna die, but
Yeah.
feels great.
Yeah.
Feels great to die.
Yeah, we're all gonna die in our swimsuits.
Die in our swimsuits.
Speaking
looking
of
good.
the weather, you're from Florida originally, right?
Yeah, don't. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do you identify as a Floridian?
No. I think that's in my stand-up. Is like I start it's like like people meet me and they're like, oh, what part of New York did you grow up in? And it's like that's great because I never want to meet someone and them like you're from Florida.
Right.
Like from meeting me, they're like, but there is a chaotic nature under me that is just always Florida.
And it comes from year-round sunshine, right?
I think, well, they say that people who live in warmer climates are less goal-oriented because they're not motivated by seasons. Like there's now visible change happening, so they don't feel like having to whatever.
Oh.
That's so
I
interesting.
100% believe that.
Yeah.
Me too, because the change of season, like I'll literally like smell the air outside and be like, I must clean my room. It smells like the time of year where I do that. Like
Yeah.
it's true. Like I feel,
Yeah.
weird.
But I don't know. No, there's something there. Like there is something deeply because there's the whole like Florida man, but there's just some shit. Because people say like I could never raise my kids in New York. There's so many weirdos. I saw all those weirdos in Florida. My mom used to make me. My mom put me in a middle school that was in a nicer neighborhood that was not where not that I lived in a bad neighborhood, quote unquote, but so it was far and she couldn't like get off work to pick us up, so I'd have to take the city bus all the time. And Florida fucking sucks. The city bus would come, I think either once every half hour, but I think it was once an hour or something like that.
Oh.
So if I missed the bus, I think it was once every half hour.
Are you talking about Palm Tree? Did you have Palm Tran?
No, that's no, it was
Only
just,
Palm Beach County.
Yeah, Palm Beach. So it was like BCT, Broward County Transit. And yeah, like they're so, cause you have to think of like everybody who can't drive in Florida. And if you can't drive, like they'll give a license to anybody.
Truly.
So like it's just the fucking craziest people in Florida on a bus with 11-year-old Millie.
Oh.
So the first time I saw balls was on the bus. The first time, like this lady, there was this lady that I had that like became my friend, who was like, she had to be, I don't know, she felt so old and wise to me, but she was probably 28.
Yeah.
And she was like, listen, I had a great life and then I had sex once. The first, I lost my virginity to this guy, got pregnant, and my life was ruined. Now I'm taking the bus. And I'm like, oh my God, I can never have sex.
Who can you trust on the Florida bus? Oh, who can you trust on the Florida bus? Who can you trust on the Florida bus? Oh, who can you trust on the Florida bus? Oh, you can trust anybody. Trust them all. Just kidding. Every guy will show you his balls. It's not good. No, it's just not great. Everybody on the bus is gonna be late because it was supposed to come 30 minutes ago. And now, well, it is my time to go home. I'm only 11. Get me out. I'm gonna scream. I'm gonna shout. Cause who can you trust on the Florida bus?
Who can you trust on the Florida bus? Who can you trust on the Florida bus? Who can you trust on the Florida bus? Can you trust the driver driving the bus? I don't know. Can you? Can you trust him? He's Adam Driver. Oh, my man, you. Yes. Who can you trust? I don't know. Teaching all you life lessons and you want to go. Yes. Going from point A to point B. Seeing all the things that you need to see. As you're growing up in your adolescence. Oh, being on the bus is a total blessing. Who can you trust on the Florida bus?
Not me.
Who can you trust on the Florida bus? Not me. Who can you trust on the Florida bus?
Not me.
Who can you trust on the Florida bus?
All right, I sat right here every day to date. Next to me is a woman who looks old, but she is 28.
Hey.
She is so nice. You know she is. And yeah, and she told me she got pregnant, and now she rides the bus.
Hey.
How are those connected? I get the money, and then she doesn't have a car. But that's kind of confusing, but I really love her because her love for me and I'm 11 is so pure. Oh,
Hey.
who can you trust on the Florida bus? 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 Just Millie, 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 just Millie.
Hi, I'm 11. I don't know what's happening. My mom is too busy to pick me up. So every day I get on the bus, and the bus driver is really mean. The bus driver is not clean. The bus driver is machine.
Who can you trust on the Florida bus? Dirty bus.
Millie,
Who can you trust on the Florida bus? Who can you trust on the Florida bus? Who can you trust on the Florida bus?
Okay. Sorry, I was like, oh shit, I have to rap now. I completely forgot.
That was amazing.
Yeah, no. So I am very pro public transportation. I think everyone needs it, but when it's so unreliable, there's people like who, like the only people who can ride it are the people who don't have a choice. And that's tough, but a sign of a good progressive society is if rich people take public transit.
Yes, like the F train. Yes.
But guess what? The F train comes. The F train be coming.
Who is
do.
it?
Yeah.
It do be coming.
I feel like there was just like a targeted like Instagram posters. I feel like it was like Paul McCartney was riding like New Jersey Transit or something, and he was like, people who don't take public transportation like are like, it's some commentary on just like living in this country, how like everybody should take it. And I was like, that's
Everyone
cool.
should take it, but it's like kind of back, I'm very into urban planning and walkability, all that stuff. Like that's like my like niche interest. So like, there's a lot of reasons, but it's kind of like chicken or the egg, where like everything was very transit walkable oriented, and they undid it for cars. And a bunch of racist shit too. And then now shit is so like climate change is so bad. Obviously, it was 70 degrees in November in New York City yesterday. And now like people are scrambling going, and now it's actually a privilege. Like rich people, before it was like poor people, the ghetto, like if you could walk to places and take public transportation, that was seen as like shitty. But now it's like the opposite, where like people will pay a lot of money to be able to walk, to like not have to leave their neighborhood or like get in a car to buy milk, or it's like kind of the opposite. But it's like a lot of undoing anyway.
Like on niche.com they have like the walk score or the walkability of the neighborhood. And
I was reading it's like the biggest life hack ever is to be able to walk your kids to school. It's like, okay.
It's like, whatever. But no, there's this whole thing, like a bike bus.
Okay.
Have you heard of them?
No.
So
I've heard of this.
Yeah. So like there's this thing where I think a lot of school districts are like, if you live 1 mile away from the school, then you can take a school bus for free, obviously. Like elementary age kids, but there are kids who live 0.9 miles and they can, they're fucking stuck. So there's this guy and they do them all around the country, but this one guy is like kind of known for it. But he started this bike bus where like the kids that live furthest, like all these kids, like once a week, they'll all gather and they'll all ride their bikes together and like ride that whole mile. So it's like 300, 400 kids riding riding all their bikes together with their parents, like down a road like safely, like every week. And that's kind of it is so beautiful. The like TikToks are so cool. That kind of reminded me when I studied abroad in Japan. My host family had all these kids, and like the kids would go, like one house would go, one kid would pick up the other kid, and they would pick up the other kid, and then all the way, like they'd stop at every house until they get to the school, and by the time they get to the school, it's like 50 kids all walking together, and then whatever. But like they come every time at the same time, and if you're not fucking ready, they're leaving your ass. Like what the fuck, So the kids have to like get their shit together before they go to school. Damn. But it's like, oh, this is so cute, but like.
So you must have strong feelings about Amsterdam then.
Yeah, Amsterdam is lauded as like the best bikeable. I have a whole thing about like, cause in the urban planning podcast and all that shit, like Amsterdam is lauded as like the greatest thing. But I feel like it's really like every country except for America. It's like walkable and whatever. But like all these urban planning podcasts are like Amsterdam, they like jack off to fucking the Netherlands. When I was like, literally when I went to Colombia, everyone walks everywhere.
Yeah.
They take bikes. Like everyone has motorcycle helmets with them all the time because they're like strict about riding with helmets. And I'm like, yeah, that would be even cool to have here. If you're like in Cali, I went to Colombia last year and I went on a motorcycle trip for a few days.
Holy shit.
And that was crazy. But in Cali, it's like if your license plate ends in an odd number, you can only drive in the city on Mondays and Wednesdays.
Whoa.
And if it ends in an even number, Tuesdays and Thursdays or something like that, to like prevent traffic and like for and I'm just like,
So cool.
all these other countries have it, or even when I went to Mexico City, and yeah, like I'm on a bus, like on a tour bus or whatever, like taking tours around the city, and there's like, we're on the street and there's just an entire lanes of just bikes and roller skating and all of that, like next, and I'm just like, yeah, well, first of all, it's like there's this whole thing of like third world countries, right?
That's
but it's like,
I was just about to ask you about that.
yeah, it's like, oh, third world. Well, that's also like in my thing of like, America's supposed to be like the greatest country in the world. Like, okay, first of all, go to a McDonald's. All the McDonald's ice cream machines are broken in America. In fucking Colombia, this is what I found out. Colombia, they just have McDonald's that just serve ice cream. Like
Really?
McFlurries, Sundays, ice cream treats.
Yes.
It's just like, and I'm like, this is a slap in the fucking face.
Yeah.
But then I found out that it's not just Colombia. It's all over South America. McDonald's is it's like Dairy Queen.
Yes.
They just serve ice, like a lot of like
No
kiosks
burgers.
in them. No, they do. There's McDonald's. There's obviously like
There's McDonald's Classic. There's McDonald's ice cream.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
McDonald's ice cream, and I'm
yeah.
just like, go to McDonald's right now, Marcy Avenue. That ice cream machine is probably fucking broken.
Facts.
And metaphors there, anyway. But yeah, like there's just all this shit about like, oh, it's so. And I mean, I'm not gonna The criticism of those places is that there's no upward mobility. So I don't want to like not acknowledge that like, oh, all these places are great. It's like if you're born poor there's a higher chance that you're gonna die poor in those countries. Where here, like, there's an illusion that you can work your way up, whatever.
Yeah.
But at the same
It's
time,
a meritocracy.
yeah, I thought you were gonna start a song. I was like, oh,
Don't
interesting.
sing about that.
Interesting. He's like, meritocracy.
If you're born poor, you're gonna stay poor.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
Poverty.
all right, okay, Hamilton. What was I gonna say? No, yeah. So there's like this illusion of that, which is true though. Like, people talk about people like escaping communism all the time, but I would gather more immigrants in America are escaping unregulated capitalism. Haitians, that's not a communist country. Haiti's not a communist country. It's unfettered capitalism. At least in America, we have minimum wage and some labor law protection and shit against child labor and all that stuff. Like Chinese immigrants, like, well, I guess that is whatever. It's complicated, but like, yeah, I was just saying, like,
It's like capitalist communism. What
yeah,
they do
exactly.
Over there.
But still, like, people just, a lot of people are escaping capitalism.
Yeah.
With no regulations.
Any concentration of power from anywhere where it gets concentrated and unregulated, there's going to be problems, whether it's all the way far left or all the way far right. It's controlled, but still decentralized.
Yeah.
I would like to know more about your time when you lived in Japan,
Oh, God. Yeah.
being a woman of color in Japan, and tell me about the McDonald's there. Tell me about just your experience there. Like, how was that?
McDonald's is fire there. Yeah, McDonald's. First of all, I love going to McDonald's in other countries, because it's always fascinating. Like, they do really cool shit with, like, you just gotta taste it, whatever.
They have a green tea McFlurry the last time I went there.
matcha, yeah. So my college had mandatory study abroad. So you had to study a second language. So it was Spanish, Chinese, or Japanese. I grew up speaking Spanish. And the Chinese program was, like, notoriously very hard. It was very hard. Like, you have to sign a pledge to do because you have to mandatory study abroad in that country that you learn the second language. And the Chinese program, you have to study a pledge that you're not going to speak English for the whole time you're there. And if they catch you speaking English more than 3 times, you get kicked out of the program.
What?
Yes.
Whoa.
And that's kind of a lot of, I mean, it kind of makes sense because you're there to whatever, but it's like, fuck, like, studying abroad in Japan was really like, I grew up, my parents are Dominican. They met here in the Heights, but they like my parents are immigrants, and my mom owned beauty salon, so I worked a lot with immigrants. Like, it's not like I didn't have compassion for immigrants in America, but when I was in Japan, having to like order food, talk to people, this and that. I was in school. I was an international student, and like my school was strict. Like in class, like I wasn't allowed to be like, "Hey, do you have a pencil?" Like I get in trouble. You have to say everything in Japanese. So the kind of highlight of my day, not highlight of my day, but like. I would go to sleep the first. Obviously, you have bad jet lag when you're first in a different country, but like even because I was in Japan probably like for 2 or 3 weeks before I even started my program, and my first month of being in school there, I would go to sleep at 7 p.m. every day because my brain's so tired because it's overworked because everything that I want to do, I have to think about it first in English, then my brain's like in Spanish, and then finally in Japanese. So like asking for a pencil, everything. So then I'm like. I understand, like, immigrant, like, yeah, you want to fucking come home. And then also because I chose to be with the host family, even there, like, even at home, I was talking Japanese. Yeah. So my Japanese was very good by the end, but I'm also, like, I was yearning for that release to be like, oh, I can, like, be around my friends and all that stuff. And then, like, I studied abroad in Sapporo, which the sister city is Portland. So Portland, in that way of like, Portland's a city.
Oregon or Maine?
Oregon. Okay. But it's like, it's not a big international city. It's not the first city you go to when you come to, most people, when they come visit America, they go LA or New York, right? They're not just like Tokyo or Kyoto, but Portland, you know what I mean? And it's not very international. So it was very much like being in Japan in general is because I also, after I went into my program like, this is cool. I have to take this. I'm going to try, but my life goal isn't to like speak Japanese. I'm probably not going to speak Japanese after I graduate. Like, I just want to have fun on study abroad and whatever. And then ironically or coincidentally, I ended up working for different Japanese companies like post-grad. And I would have to go to Japan on business, just a former life, not anymore. Whoa. But I went to Japan 6 times. Yeah. And I think that, and then when I go on these business trips, I'm in like the business district. So it's kind of like being in, it's hard because a lot of our touristy areas are also like Faidai, there are tourists there, like Midtown, but it's like, people don't expect to see international people. It's very homogenous society. So I think the thing that was it's exhausting every time I go because as a woman of color, like, in Sapporo, and even when I would go for business trips, Tokyo's a little bit better, but not in the business area. But it's like, what I like about New York is you can kind of like blend. Like, people won't fuck with you. No one's noticing you. No one's perceiving you. Like, you can kind of blend in. That's also like a problem that I have with catcallers is like, I want to like do my thing. And then there's somebody who's like, hey, I'm noticing you. Or like that's hard. But in Japan, I felt like there was a super hyper awareness of who because honestly, it's in Sapporo specifically, it was people's first time ever seeing a black person. Yeah. And like, they could not conceptualize that. Like, I mean, now with social media, it's different. I went in 2010. So like, it's just different now. Like, people have a little bit of exposure, but in person and like the fact that my hair is curly or whatever. And so people are just like really looking at you. And even like the last time I went to Japan, I just felt like I couldn't say no. It was in a situation where like I joked about it at work. I was like, well, it'd be so much easier if I just met all these people that I'm emailing in person. And my boss was like, good point. You should go next week, and not like stress me out. Cause like I had no money. I didn't have any work clothes. Like, I only got paid once a month. So like I had spent all my money that month, and then they're like, go to Japan next week. I didn't even have a credit. It was so stressful. And then I just found, like my sweaters had like little holes. The things that I'm self-conscious about, they'll be like fine in America, but like because everyone's staring at you. I just found myself, and I'm a very confident person. I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like, I am who I am. But in Japan, I just felt like I just caught myself blushing all the time because I was just so hyper aware that people were looking at me, and it was just a lot. So but when you're a tourist and you're visiting, beautiful. Food, fun, great. They really nailed like the local tourism. You can go to like a small little town. You go to any small town in Japan. Every little town has their own specialty food and specialty little drink. And there's all these, like, they've really nailed it. And it's a beautiful, like, tourist experience. Oh, cute, kiki, and then leave. That's great. But, like, actually participating in society is really difficult if you're not full-bred Japanese. Like, even... There's like so much discourse about even how they, not even how they treat, like, obviously there's a difference between Korean and Japanese people, but like, even how they treat Korean people, like Chinese people, like Filipino, it's fucking awful. So it's whatever. So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, you reflected on your experience.
Rap about that. Rap about internment camp. I'm kidding. No, kidding. I'm really like...
just like me rapping about upward mobility.
Rap about poverty, no.
Yeah.
Rap about the nuances of Japanese mistreatment.
People rap about the green tea McFlurry first.
Great green tea. Yeah, but I love oh my God. Okay, I'll tell you this story. Hot Springs. Hot Springs.
Kyoto, right?
Yeah, but all over. They have
all over.
a public bath in Hot Springs. Okay, this is really funny. So, I was 19 or whatever, and we did a trip. So we went to Honshu, Sapporo's in Hokkaido, which is like the northern island, and then we took a trip all around Honshu, which is like Tokyo, Kyoto, whatever, and most hotels have public baths. So it's basically like you walk into this place and it's men and women are separate. You take off all your clothes, you sit on a stool, and you like really scrub your body well, like sitting down. And then you go in, basically it's like a really hot tub, like a huge hot tub that can fit like 15 people, and you're butt naked, and they put like minerals, and it's really good for you. But like every hotel, like the really nice ones, the hot springs are like in the mountains. The mountains are covered in snow, and like it's beautiful. But even like the shitty ones, like the equivalent of Motel 6, they'll have some kind of jacuzzi situation or whatever. So the first time I went, I was like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. Also, like, I went to school mostly women and mostly Asian women too. That was like a whole thing. And I like had no sexual experience. I don't know, I lost my virginity when I was like 23. I think this helps with this conversation. So I was just like, yeah, whatever. I don't care about people seeing me naked, but like really, like, no one has seen me naked. Like, it was not a thing, So now I really don't care. But at the time, I was like, yeah. And all my friends, like, even leading up to it, we're talking about how we're going to go to the public baths. And I'm like, yeah. And my friends are like, I don't know. I'm so nervous. And I'm like, whatever. Who cares? Blah, 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 whatever. Okay. So I'm like, in my head, I'm like, yeah, this is not. But that's just kind of like how my brain works in general. Things that should scare and make people nervous or make whatever, I don't feel that at all until like right before. Like people are nervous about roller coasters. It doesn't really hit me until I see it, and then I'm like, oh shit. Like,
is that like an overcompensation? You're like, yeah, whatever, and then the reality hits?
I think I really do think I feel the whatever, and then I'm like, oh shit.
Okay,
so like,
got it.
Kind of, yeah, like YOLO 911, like YOLO emergency, like it goes like yo, I don't give. Oh shit. Yeah. That's just how I am. So, whatever. I don't give a shit all day. I'm like, then it gets real when all of my friends start taking off their clothes. And then I'm like, holy shit. Like, I have to be naked around all these people. And I take off all my clothes and I take off my glasses. And I put them in a little cubby. You have a little cubby, like a little basket you put on.
To me, that's the most vulnerable thing. Taking off my glasses, I am exposed.
Yeah, well, the glasses, I'm like, okay, well, I can't see anyone. They can't see me. That's like my thing.
That's hard.
So then I start then we're like, yeah, I take off my glasses. I'm like, holy shit. And then I'm like, start covering, like I cover my titties, like put my hand over my crotch. And I'm like, oh my God. And then I'm like, okay, I'm just going to book it because I don't want anyone to see. I open the door from the like changing area, and I open the door and I like run in the shower area, but I don't know that there's a stairs. There's like 5 stairs. So I just run in and literally like Home Alone, like Home Alone 2, like boom, boom, and I hit my head on the floor, and I like slide because it's soapy on the floor.
Oh God.
And then, so caused this big scene. First of all these Japanese women, again, some of them have never seen a black person. Then now they've seen like black titties. It makes a big thud, and they think that, and like falling is like embarrassing, but falling when people actually are concerned about you. Yeah. So everybody gets up and checks on me. They're like, "Daijoubu desu ka?" And like, but what ends up happening is that I'm surrounded by naked Japanese women asking me if they're okay, and they're trying to help me up. Everyone's butt naked, so I'm just have titties all around me, and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm like so like embarrassed. Like it was just the pinnacle of like the worst thing that could happen. It was so rough.
Did you still get into?
Yeah, I still got into like there was no way I couldn't go. And then there's
no injury?
I mean, I'm sure something is not right.
Yeah. I forgot fractions, but we don't use those.
Yeah, I mean, I do comedy, so obviously I have brain damage. But yeah, that was like just so. And then from then I was like, it can never be worse than this. So that's when I appreciated hot springs.
Naked in Japan and I got no plan.
Naked in Japan and I got no plan.
Naked in Japan and I got no plan. And I got no plan. And I got no plan. I love this place. You know I love it. I go inside of the hot tubs. It's so much fun. I'm naked. You know I'm about to jump into the hotel baths inside Kyoto. I go slip on my head. They're worried. Are you alive or are you dead?
Are you dead?
I'm fine. You know it's me. No concussion. No, I don't got CTE. Feeling great. Oh,
naked in Japan and I got no plan.
Naked in Japan and I got no plan. Naked in Japan and I got no plan. And I got no plan. And I got no plan.
Waking up, I see these Japanese women with me. Look around, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 titties. All around me, all around my face. I don't know. Did I slip, hit my head on the damn floor? But it's alright, I'm still funny. You know I still got that levity. Everyone is so caring, no one acting with brevity. They all giving me quality, concentration, elation. I'm over here feeling motivated on my vacation, cause
naked in Japan and I got no plan.
Naked in Japan and I got no plan. Naked in Japan and I got no plan. And I got no plan. And I got no plan.
Naked in Japan, wanna get out in a hurry. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'ma get a green tea McFlurry. Yeah, right down the street, that would be a nice treat. Cause right now I need to sit back and retreat from the situation I got into. Now I'm on the floor. I look to my left and I see an escape door. I gotta get out, but there are more stairs ahead. And I'm like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. I'd rather be dead. Cause I'm naked in Japan and I got no plan.
I slipped again.
Naked in Japan and I got more titties.
Naked in Japan and I got so soapy.
Got no plan and I got no plan.
Glad you're okay. That
Yeah,
sounds
that's okay.
terrifying. Whether
Oh,
you
jeez.
happen in a foreign country or in America, falling on your head like that,
Yeah.
so scary. Yeah.
Oh
Oh my gosh. Well, you're so worldly. I'm loving all these stories about that, but I'm curious about what's going on with you here. What's going on with you here? I know you're a new pet parent.
Yes, I do have a dog. I love him so much. He's the best. He is really friendly, really sweet, loves people, loves other dogs. Very mischievous dog. Chews all of my panties. Like
Specifically.
the crotch part, it's fucked up.
Oh my God.
The or like shorts. Yeah, chews a hole. All my panties have holes in them. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ. Sometimes
must
I'll
think
be
you're
in the hamper. He'll get it out. It's fucked up.
Your dog is a creepy old man.
Yeah, my dog's a creepy old man. So then, it's been interesting having male visitors. First time that I brought a guy home with him there, the guy was like, your dog was sniffing, and the guy was going down on him. He's like, your dog was sniffing my booty. And I'm like, oh my God. The other time, another time, he broke, I like closed the door, but it wasn't like my door, I don't know, there was something wrong with like how it locked. So if you pushed it with force, it could open. But I pushed it with force, broke, because I obviously pushed it open, and then just was like watching us, and the guy's like turned to the side and saw my dog, and he's like, I feel like I'm cucking your dog. This is not okay. Or sometimes like, I don't know what's worse, when he's like watching like confused, or when he like kind of yawns and turns his back away. Okay, sorry, this isn't fun for you.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We'll level it up.
Yeah. And then he'll spoon, like he just is trying to get in there. He'll spoon, or because I'm seeing someone, we're on the couch. Oh, my dog will just sit on the guy. On his chest, like ass in his face, like what's up?
You're supposed to be included.
Yeah, but whatever.
You don't want to talk about it?
Okay. I mean,
okay.
Yeah, it's whatever. But it's definitely like Three's Company. Like he's just coming in, cock blocking.
Yeah.
So that's the thing about kind of the only rough. And yeah, like I just come into my apartment, and I'm like, what did he destroy this time? Like, what did he,
right.
And
is the teething over?
I don't know. Yes, I don't know. Because, like, he will get into shit. Yeah, like, I have, I'm Buddhist, so I have, like, my little altar. And he will just, fucking just rip through a box of incense that I had. And just, like, I'm like, what are you doing?
Oh, no.
And, it was weird. I went to Seattle in August, and my friend has she was dog sitting a big ass German Shepherd, like huge. The dog was like 90 pounds. And then she owns like a Kashand, I think that's I don't know what the fuck kind of dog it is. Big, hairy dog, 2 big ass dogs. And I'm like, okay, like we would leave for the day and come back in, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? They're like fine. They're like so happy and joyful. And I'm like, yo, my dog would have tore this shit up. Like just chewed through. Yeah. So
does your Buddhism help you stay calm when the dog ruins your home?
I try. Yeah. Like sometimes when I'm meditating, like he knows that like he'll come over and just start yelp. And I'm like, it's because he's not like a noisy dog. He doesn't very quiet. But when I'm chanting, he's like, bah! And I'm like, are you trying to do this too? But he usually knows that I chant before I leave the house. So he knows that I'm about to leave. So after I finish, he's like, okay, girl, let's go. I've been holding in my pee for 12 hours. I'm like, all right, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, there's, never a dull moment. It's tough, but love my fucking dog.
What's your dog's name?
Valentino.
Valentino.
Yes.
Yeah, call him Tino for short.
Yeah, I call him Tino for short. Or, I have like 8 nicknames. But yeah, I love him so much. But yeah, it's tough. But people are crazy about dogs. I feel like people also put like impart and project. I mean, I guess people do this with kids too, but I've noticed with dogs, like, I think it's kids makes more sense because they're human beings, they're sentient. They do. Dogs have personalities, but kids, whatever. I mean, dogs are sentient too. But
As
when people
opposed to the non-sentient dog.
they're sentient, but like people are like, oh yeah, he gets really nervous, or I don't know. It's just like
It's,
I
you're
think
not-
that's you, and you're saying that it's the dog.
Yeah, there's
My
a
dog's
big thing
very
in the
liberal.
right. There's a big thing in the animal training world about not imbuing animals with human characteristics. You shouldn't be doing that. You should be trying to meet them at their level and understand them at their level.
Exactly, which
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, when people are like, oh, my kid does, it's like makes more sense. But people are just so, I've just noticed that like with pet parents, they're like so like with their dogs, because like, oh, that's how they are. That's their excuse, or that's how they're like projecting, you know, which is really interesting. And I try not to do that, but
You're good
I
at
don't
it.
know.
When we had our puppy play date, you helped a lot. I was like, nervous new dog dad. And you were like, they're playing.
Yeah.
Let them run.
yeah, I'm totally like single mom with a cigarette. I'm like, they're gonna do their thing. That's
Yeah.
kind of my thing, because yeah, as a single person, like that's why, you know, I have friends who like are new pet parents or whatever, and they're, you know, two of them, and they're just like, it's so stressful. I'm like, what the fuck are you stressed about? You fucking, there's two of you to split up this shit.
Right.
Figure it out. Like, it's not really, like, it is, I get it. I mean, I'm not going to be like, there was a moment, because it's a different way to think of like, oh, now everything that I want to do, I have to think of something else first. Like, that is a big shift.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, people are like, oh my God. And I'm like, yo, they're fucking dogs. Like, and then if someone's like, oh man, like, your dog's so cute, I'm like, great, you want to hang out with it for 5 hours while I go do something? Or like, literally, yeah, like, yeah. There's, you know, my neighbor's like, oh, your dog's so cute. I'm like, hey, do you want to like hang out with my dog while this guy's over? Please. We can have uninterrupted sex once.
That's like a good idea for like an app, like a dog sitting service when it's sexy time.
That's a good
Ooh,
idea.
Instead of wag,
Yeah,
it's
Shag.
Shag.
That's a good idea.
Hey, come over, won't you watch my pet while I have some uninterrupted sex? I'm trying to get naughty with my partner, and I want to make sure that the vibe's so pure. No distractions. No distractions. No distractions. I gotta open up Shag. No distractions. No distractions. No distractions. I gotta open up Shag.
Oh yeah, ooh, come on over and watch my dog while my partner takes a look at my hog. Yeah, they're gonna see my hog go in and out, and we're gonna be screaming. Yeah, we're gonna shout, but luckily no barks today. Maybe Noah's Ark going all day. Yeah, because the flood's coming and it'll be great. Just watch my dog for a few days.
No
Distractions.
No distractions. No distractions. I'm gonna download Shag.
No
Distractions. No distractions. Distractions. I'm gonna open up Shag.
Yeah, you wanna come over and watch my putt? I don't want anybody sniffing this guy's butt, but when he's going down on me, I think your eyes are the only ones I want to see, not the little puppy eyes in the corner going work. They're looking at me while it's getting rough. I just want your help. I want to be alone. Can somebody come and give my dog a bone?
No distractions. No distractions. Yes, no distractions. So I'm gonna download Shag.
I'm a little dog, and I like panties. I like to eat the crotch out of the panties. If you give me panties, it would be great. I love panties. No, I never can hate.
Oh, bark. Back. I think, are you gonna have an attack? What are you two doing? It's the beast with two backs. I'm confused. Can I join that Slack?
Bark. Yes, I'd like to join soon. Bark. I just want to do a spoon with my mom when she's got a man. Come on. Give me a hand.
No distractions. No distractions. No distractions. I'm gonna open Shag. Hey, thank you so much for coming, Millie. This was so much fun.
Yes.
Thanks for listening to the North Coast Podcast. Follow us at North Coast NYC on all social media. Check us out on Patreon if you want to support the podcast and get exclusive content.
Yeah.
See you soon. Bye-bye.